Ultimately, what we want this lobby view to be is to be a place to capture all of those settings and all of those information so that we can pass them on to the game when we start playing. Now, let's actually go back to our app.jsx here, and let's figure out how is it that we're going to be switching back from this view here to this other view. And we want this lobby view to be able to update this value only once it's done capturing all the information, or only when the user hits the start game button. So because this here exists on another component, that means that this trigger function will have to be passed on as a property to our lobby view here. So I'll go ahead and create another function, and I'll call this on lobby or on game start. And what this essentially would do is call set view and change the value to game. All right, so let's go back. Let's actually pass this on to our game view. On game start equals on game start. That means I can go back to my lobby and I can capture that from here as a prop. So this is on start game. Great. So now when do I call this function? So this is going to be called when we hit the start game button. So right over here, right now the button is disabled, but we're going to fix that in a second. We want to be able to on click call the function handle game start. This function does not exist yet, which I'll create inside of my lobby component. So right over here, I'll do const handle game start. And for now, just to keep it simple, all what this will do is call this function. All right, so let's reiterate what we have so far. In my app.jsx, I have a function called onGameStart. Right now, all it does is that it changes the view from settings to game. We are passing that function onto our lobby view, and we're capturing it as a property. And down in the button itself, we have a handler that basically says when the start game button is clicked, we want to call this handle game start. And what the handle game start does is just that it calls this function here. We can simplify this even further by just calling this function directly from here, but we might need to do some extra validations inside of our lobby view before we send it back to our app.jsx. So for now, we're just gonna keep them as two separate functions like that. If I hit save, and now obviously my button is disabled, so we're still not able to select it. So let me go ahead and change that. I'll create a variable that will basically tell us, have we captured this information or not? Do we have a name and do we have an avatar? And if we do, then we should be able to basically start the game. So here we'll have is game start enabled. This should be enabled or should be true if we have an avatar and we have a name. I'll take this and I'll scroll down to where my disabled button is, and I'll change this so it's driven by this value here. We'll hit save. Now looks like it was enabled even though it shouldn't have. Let's see, did I do something wrong here? Avatar and name. Oh, I have the opposite. So this should be, if it's not enabled, then it should be disabled. Here we go. Now the button is disabled, and it should only be enabled once I have selected an avatar and have provided a name. Now I'm able to call start game. If I hit this here, still did not work. Let's find out what is happening. Let me add a console log. Start game. And I'll go back to the app here and also add another console log just to see what's happening. Let's open the inspector, go to the console. On start game is not a function, and we're getting this in the lobby. Oh, because we called it on game start, not on start game. Here we go. Fix it here. Save, clear and refresh. Now if I provide a name and I select an avatar, the button is available. If I click on it, it changes my view into the game section here. Now I want to be able to show the player name in my game component here. That is only going to happen if we're able to pass it on to the game view here. So let's update our game view so it captures the player name. I'll do that. And over here, let's just add player name, and we'll go back to our app.jsx. Here I can provide a property called player name. If I pass in test, it will read out test, but we actually need to capture the name from the lobby view. Now here's the problem. This state value, or the player name state value, is actually only captured in the lobby view. The app.jsx knows nothing about it, and so it's not able to pass it along to our game view. This is where we talk about a concept called lifting the state up, or moving the state one layer up or to the parent component, which in our case here, that'll be the app view. We'll stop right here and we'll do that in the next video.